There is a small white cup sitting in almost every grocery store cooler right now, and inside it is one of the most powerful tools you have for keeping the strength in your legs after 60. You have probably walked past it 1,000 times. You may even keep it in your own refrigerator. But here is what almost no one ever told you. The way most people eat in the morning is quietly starving the very muscles that hold them upright. And there is a real reason for that. Researchers have found that when older adults move more of their protein to breakfast, instead of saving it all for dinner, their muscle mass and their grip strength actually improve. Same food, same total amount, just eaten at a smarter time of day. That one small change can be the difference between climbing your own stairs with confidence at 80 and feeling your legs give out beneath you far sooner than they should. I am Dr. Grace Carter. For more than 17 years, I have worked in clinical nutrition and internal medicine, sitting across from people over 60 who told me the same painful thing again and again. They said, "Doctor, I eat well, I really do, but my legs just are not what they used to be. I get up from a chair and I have to push with both hands. I hold the railing now on every staircase." And almost every time, when we looked closely at what they actually ate, the problem was not that they ate too little food. The problem was when they ate their protein, and how little of it arrived at the one meal that matters most. So if your legs feel weaker than they used to, I want you to relax and stay with me, because what I am about to show you is simple. It is something you can buy today, and you can start tomorrow morning. Before we go any further, if you find that honest health information explained in plain language is useful to you, take one quiet second to like this video and to subscribe to the channel. It genuinely helps me reach more people over 60 who deserve to hear this, and it costs you nothing at all. Thank you. Now let me tell you about one of my patients, because her story is the reason I care so much about this. I will call her Eleanor. She was 71 years old when she first came to see me, and she was frightened. She had always been an active woman. She gardened, she walked to church, she carried her own groceries. But over about 2 years, she told me, her legs had betrayed her. She could not rise from her favorite armchair without rocking forward 2 or 3 times to build momentum. She had stopped going down to her basement because she no longer trusted her knees on the stairs. And the strange part, she said, was that she was eating plenty. A little toast and coffee in the morning, a light lunch, and then a big, hearty dinner with chicken or beef. On paper, it looked fine. But when we added it up, almost all of her protein, the building material her muscles needed, was crammed into that one evening meal. Her breakfast and her lunch gave her muscles almost nothing to work with. We made one change. We brought a high-protein food to her breakfast table every single morning. 12 weeks later, Eleanor stood up from that same armchair in my office, in one smooth motion, without using her hands, and she just looked at me and smiled. That is what I want for you. So let me explain why this happens, because once you understand it, the solution will make complete sense. As we get older, our bodies go through a slow change that has a name. Doctors call it sarcopenia. It simply means the gradual loss of muscle as we age. Starting somewhere in our 30s and speeding up after 60, we slowly lose muscle year after year if we do nothing to stop it. And the muscles that tend to go first are the big ones in your thighs and your hips, the very muscles you use to stand, to walk, and to catch yourself if you trip. That is why a fall in your 70s or 80s can be so dangerous. It is not just the floor that is the problem. It is that the muscles that should have saved you were no longer strong enough to do their job. Now here is the part that most people never hear. Your muscles are not just sitting there, slowly fading away, whether you like it or not. Every single day, your body is doing 2 things at once. It is breaking down a little old muscle, and it is building a little new muscle. Think of it like a brick wall that is constantly losing a few bricks and laying a few new ones. When you are young, the building keeps up easily with the losing, and the wall stays strong. But as you age, the building slows down, while the losing keeps right on going. So the wall starts to shrink. Your job, after 60, is simple to say. You need to give your body what it takes to lay enough new bricks each day to keep that wall standing tall. And what is the brick? The brick is protein. Protein is the raw material your body uses to build and repair muscle. When you eat protein, your body breaks it down into smaller pieces called amino acids, and then it uses those pieces to lay new muscle. But here is the key that changes everything, and it is the thing my patients are almost never told. As we age, our muscles become a little deaf to protein. When a younger person eats a small amount of protein, their muscles hear the signal loud and clear, and they start building. But an older person's muscles need a much louder signal before they will respond. A small splash of protein simply is not enough anymore. You have to reach a certain level, all at one meal, before your aging muscles wake up and say, "All right, it is time to build." Let me give you an everyday picture for this. Imagine your muscle is an old radio with a stiff volume dial. When you were young, the slightest turn of the dial filled the room with sound. Now that the radio is older, you have to turn that dial well past halfway before you hear anything at all. Anything below that point, and the room stays silent. Your protein at each meal works exactly the same way. There is a threshold, a turning point, and unless a single meal pushes you past it, your muscles barely respond. Scientists who study this point to one amino acid in particular, called leucine, as the part of protein that really turns the dial. You do not need to remember that word. You only need to remember this. To wake up an older muscle, you need enough quality protein at one sitting, not a little dribble spread thin across the day. I want you to really sit with what that means, because it changes how you should think about every meal. It is not enough to add up all the protein you eat in a day and feel satisfied that the number looks healthy. Your muscles do not keep a running total in a notebook. They live in the moment. They ask one question at each meal, and only one. Did this meal give me enough right now to turn the dial and start building? If the answer is no, that meal does almost nothing for your muscles, no matter how it adds up on paper at the end of the day. That is the part so many of my patients find hard to believe at first, because they have spent years being told that the daily total is all that counts. For your heart and your weight, perhaps. But for the muscles in your legs, the timing and the size of each single meal matter just as much as the total. And now we arrive at the heart of the problem, and the reason your legs may be weakening, even though you feel like you eat plenty. Look at how most of us eat. Breakfast is the lightest protein meal of the entire day. A piece of toast, a bowl of cereal with milk, a little fruit, some coffee. There is almost no real protein in that, certainly not enough to turn the dial. Lunch is often a bit better, but still light. And then dinner arrives, and suddenly we eat a huge amount of protein all at once, far more than the body can even use to build muscle in a single sitting. So what happens? Your muscles sit there, deaf and silent, all through the morning and the early afternoon. They get almost no signal to build for the first half of your waking day. They only get one strong push late in the evening, and by then your body has spent hours already losing muscle with nothing to replace it. This is exactly why front-loading your protein matters so much. Researchers studied older adults and found that those who ate a higher share of their protein in the morning had better muscle mass and better grip strength than those who saved it all for the evening. It was the same total protein over the day. The only difference was the timing. Moving protein to breakfast turned the dial earlier, woke the muscles sooner, and gave them more hours each day to build. Breakfast, it turns out, is the meal where your muscles are most hungry for a real signal, and it is the meal where we almost always let them down. So the solution becomes wonderfully simple. We need a food you can put on your breakfast table that is high in quality protein, rich in that muscle-waking leucine, easy to eat first thing in the morning, gentle on an older stomach, and affordable enough to have every single day. And there is one food that checks every one of those boxes. It is Greek yogurt. Let me tell you why Greek yogurt in particular is so well suited for this. Regular yogurt is strained to remove much of the watery liquid, and what you are left with is thicker, creamier, and far higher in protein. A single serving of plain Greek yogurt can give you somewhere around 15 to 20 grams of protein in one small cup, first thing in the morning, with very little effort. That is a serious amount of building material, arriving at the exact meal where most people get almost none. And because it is a dairy food, it is naturally rich in that key amino acid, leucine, the one that turns the volume dial on your aging muscles. It is soft, it is easy to chew and swallow, it does not sit heavy, and it can be eaten by people who have no appetite for a big breakfast. For waking up tired older muscles in the morning, it is hard to find a better, simpler choice. Now let me show you exactly how to use it, because the small details make a real difference. First, reach for plain Greek yogurt whenever you can, rather than the fruit-flavored cups. Those flavored varieties are often loaded with added sugar, sometimes as much as a dessert, and that is not what we are after. If plain tastes too sharp for you at first, that is perfectly normal. You can stir in your own fresh berries, a few chopped walnuts, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or just a small drizzle of honey. You control what goes in, and you keep the sugar gentle. Second, aim for a real full serving. A tiny spoonful will not turn the dial. You want a proper portion, roughly 3/4 of a cup to a full cup, so that you are getting that 15 to 20 grams of protein in one sitting. Remember, your older muscles need a loud enough signal. A nibble will not do it. Give them a real serving. Third, and this is important, eat it in the morning, with your breakfast, not as a snack late at night. The whole point is to bring strong protein to the meal where you usually get the least. Make your Greek yogurt the anchor of your breakfast. You can still have your toast or your fruit alongside it. We are not taking anything away. We are simply adding the one thing that was missing. Now let me warn you about the common mistakes I see, so you can avoid them. The first mistake is buying the sugary flavored cups and thinking they are all the same. They are not. Read the label and choose plain or low sugar versions. The second mistake is eating far too little, just a couple of spoonfuls, and wondering why nothing changes. Eat a full serving. The third mistake is treating this as a one-time thing. Eleanor did not change in a single morning. She changed because she did this every single day faithfully for weeks. Muscle is built slowly, brick by brick. Consistency is what lays the wall back up. And the fourth mistake is thinking breakfast protein alone is enough. It is the most important meal to fix, yes. But the ideal is to have a good source of protein at lunch and dinner too, so your muscles get that building signal again and again throughout the day. Now I promised you honesty, so let me give you the safety part, because it truly matters. For most people over 60, adding a serving of Greek yogurt to breakfast is a safe and healthy change. But there is one group who must check with their own doctor first. If you have kidney disease or any problem with your kidneys, you should not increase your protein intake on your own. People with reduced kidney function sometimes need to limit their protein, and what helps one person's muscles could put strain on another person's kidneys. So if you have any kidney condition, please bring this idea to your doctor first and let them guide you. Also, if you have a dairy allergy or you are strongly lactose intolerant, Greek yogurt may not sit well with you, though many people who struggle with milk can still handle yogurt because of the way it is made. When in doubt, start small and listen to your body. And always talk with your own healthcare provider before making a big change. Now let me give you the one habit trick that makes this stick, because knowing what to do and actually doing it every day are two very different things. The secret is to attach this new habit to something you already do without fail. You already make your coffee or your tea every single morning. So let the moment you pour that first cup become your signal to reach for the Greek yogurt. Coffee and yogurt, side by side, every morning. You are not adding a whole new routine to your day. You are simply pairing a new habit with one you already have, and that is how habits last for the rest of your life. And here is a small bonus that stacks right on top of the main tip and makes it even more powerful. After you have had your protein-rich breakfast, try to get a little gentle movement into your legs during the day, even just standing up from your chair and sitting back down a few times, or a slow walk around your home. Protein gives your muscles the bricks. A little movement tells your body to actually use those bricks to build leg strength, rather than letting them go to waste. The food and the movement work together. The yogurt lays the building material, and the movement puts it to work in the exact muscles you want to keep strong: your thighs, your hips, and your legs. So let me bring this all together for you. As we age, we slowly lose muscle, and the legs are often the first to go, which is what steals our balance and our independence. Muscle is built from protein, but older muscles are a little deaf, and they only respond when a single meal gives them a loud enough signal. Most of us load nearly all of our protein into dinner, and we leave our muscles silent and unfed all morning long. The fix is to bring strong protein to breakfast, the meal where we usually get the least, and Greek yogurt is one of the best and easiest foods to do exactly that. A full serving of plain Greek yogurt every morning, paired with your coffee, and followed by a little movement in your day, gives your legs the steady supply of building blocks they need to stay strong. It is simple. It is affordable. You can buy it on your very next trip to the store, and you can begin tomorrow. And it may help protect the very things you most want to keep as the years go by: your strength, your balance, and your freedom to live your life on your own 2 feet. If this was helpful to you, and you would like more simple, honest guidance like this, please subscribe and join us here. This channel exists to help you stay strong, steady, and independent well past 60, and I would be honored to walk that road with you. take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. And one last important note. This video is for general educational purposes only, and it is not medical advice. Always speak with your own qualified healthcare provider, especially if you have kidney problems or any other health condition, before making changes to your diet, your exercise, or your medications. Your doctor knows your body best, so bring this idea to them and let them help you use it safely.